What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my full, honest, and in-depth review of Skyrush. Now you guys are sitting there saying, this dude complains so much, he tells us so much as if a bolt were loose on the ride. Well, you're correct, but there's also some of you who are probably sitting there who are major Skyrush fans, and if I don't say it's my #1 and that it's the greatest thing ever, you're just going to dislike and leave a hate comment or whatever. So if that's the case, just go ahead and leave right now, but if that's not, then go ahead and stay tuned for the video. Alright, so let me give you a little bit of background on, sort of where my first thoughts on this ride started. So when I met my best friend, it was at a play, and I was talking to his dad, and he was like, "You're actually going to get on Valraven for the OSU Media Day." I was like, "Your son's into roller coasters?" I was like, "What grade is he in?" Blah, blah, blah. And I went up onto the stage to ask him a question during intermission, and I said, "What is your #1?" And he said it's probably between Skyrush and Storm Chaser. So that's where the first, sort of impression of this ride came from. Now, this ride has been very controversial. Now, a lot of people say it's great. A lot of people say it's thigh crush. I watched Throw Central's video, and he said that it was a little bit rough. And, I really should have believed him, but this ride has just been so controversial. So let's go ahead and get into my ride experience and opinion. Alright, so when I get to Hershey Park, I'm running to this ride because this is apparently the most amazing thing ever. And when I walk up to the ride and up the steps, I'm going, there's no line. This is absolutely crazy. And I walk into the station, I'm like, just go to the back, go to the back. There's nobody in the queues. There's a few people in line for the front. And as I'm going up the lift, I was like, my channel and my community and my love for roller coasters had brought me this far, and this is what my best friend said was his #1. And then boom, I'm already at the top because the lift on this ride is very cool. And that's just the start of my ride experience on this. It was so empty that day that as soon as I returned from the station from the first one, they let me ride again. Now, my first time I was on a wing seat, and the next time I decided to sit on the center, and then the last time I decided to sit second row. I personally preferred the second row. I feel like the airtime was a little bit stronger there, whether you believe me or not on that. But I did get 2 rides in the back and 1 ride in the front. Now let's go ahead and get into this actual ride experience. Alright, also guys, I apologize if I sound a little sick today, but I'm trying to restart the channel, so that's why I'm recording this. Alright, so you go out of the station. Now, in terms of the dispatch times for this, some were really slow and some were fast. I think it's the restraints are so tight, well, not necessarily tight, but they don't really accommodate big people very well, and I noticed that, and I'm not huge, but it was very tight on me. And they have to push them down if it's just slightly too big on people, causing people discomfort, and some people just didn't want to get on, and some people just couldn't fit on. So that's important to remember when boarding this ride. Now you go forward a little bit, and then the lift starts, and that lift is just crazy for a 200-foot ride. But you just get up there so quick that you don't really know how high you're up. So I'm just sitting there. I remember thinking, I was like, no, stop, I'm not done thinking, I'm not done being thankful for getting on this. And then boom, thrown over the edge, and then bang, bang, a rattle hits. I was like, what the heck? This is Skyrush. This is the greatest thing ever. What just happened to me? If I could describe this rattle, like I said in I think my top 10 something, I don't know. But I would say it's like a wheel got rattled. Some people say it makes the drop better because you're going down steep, and then all of a sudden, it's like you switch off the up stomps and onto the main, and you just bang down a little bit more. I don't know how to describe it, but that's what it is for me. And then I'll talk more about, I guess, sort of the rattle or the airtime or the intensity a little bit later. All right, then you're gonna bank right. You're gonna go up into this airtime hill, which is phenomenal. That is something this ride does very well. And you're gonna do another turn, and you're coming to the second airtime hill. Now this is what's cool. You know you're gonna have to duck under that first airtime hill eventually as you're going up this hill, but you don't know when. And then all of a sudden, bang, hit the lap bar, get some nice airtime, then you do it again. Then into another turn, into a stangle dive, and then a lot of twistiness like Rob Albee likes. And then you go into this section of an airtime hill, and then there's this turn into the brake run. And now this ride, this layout is very compact. And for Hershey Park, I think it is a great addition, especially since it's in Intamin, amazing Intamin land, basically is what they should call it. Now go ahead with the intensity part of this ride. I didn't see it. I'm not going to deny that it's intense because my mom grayed out on it. I can see in the camera, her arm was just dangling. I was like, Mom, did you just gray out on this ride? But here's what I'm going to say. I was analyzing the ride. I was like, okay, this is amazing in everybody's mind. So as I'm going throughout the ride, I'm sitting there analyzing it. And to be honest, I was looking for fish in the water and girls on the path. if I could be perfectly honest right now. That's what I was looking at as I'm going through the ride. I was looking at fish on the water. I was like, dude, we're going over water. This is pretty cool. And then I was looking for people on the path. So to say that this ride, intensity to me is when the ride takes over your mind. You're completely focused on it. Like on a hydraulic launch, you just cannot, your mind cannot be anywhere else. But this is absolutely crazy. Or like the Nitro Helix, where you have your hands raised, but you feel like taking them down because it's so intense. Or other aspects of rides that are like that where you're focused, you have to focus on the ride. I really wasn't focused on the ride every time I rode it. I was sort of analyzing. I was like, alright, this is as good as people said. Oh, this part isn't just as good. So I'm not saying it's not intense. I'm just saying it didn't have me 100% focused on the ride. But I'm not going to deny that it's not intense, just because I personally didn't feel it. But with the rattle on this ride, it was a little surprising. And Zach from Throw Central said it had one. I was like, dude, there's no way, you're full of crap. And when I got on it, I was like, okay, I see what he's saying. It's definitely a valid argument. Now, everybody who loves this ride, including my best friend, I said, when did you ride this? And he was like the year after it came out. And I was like, go back and then tell me if you still like this ride. I was like, because that is crazy. I called my best friend as soon as I got off of the ride. And I was like, we got an issue here. We've got a big issue. But I'm not going to say it completely takes away from the ride, because the airtime on the ride is absolutely stunning. I wouldn't say it's better than El Toro, but it's still absolutely a great ride. Now, the Restraints, I'm a bigger dude, so I did have sort of an issue with them, but that was closer towards the front. In the back, I really didn't have an issue. Like I said, I believe that's because you get more airtime closer to the front, whether you believe me or not on that, as it got tighter, and I felt a little bit more pain. But it's sort of weird how the Restraints just unlock on the brake run. It's sort of cool. But that shows you that you got a problem. That alone shows you that you got a problem. And these women who are next to me and my mom were like, did you guys feel your Restraints get tighter while we were on the brake run? And I was like, yeah, a little, but that's just extreme airtime. So it is a problem on this ride. You may get a good ride without it. I would sit closer towards the back personally. But that's going to wrap up my review on Skyrush, guys. Hopefully it's been not too triggering on your guys' end. But thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for 600 subs. We're going to continue to try to grow this channel. So if you are new, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.
And if you want it, a smooth ride, here's a little surprise, baby, because I am not calibrated, they're a little overrated, everybody's looking at you. Wanna find the peace of mind that everyone is looking for, you might as well just find a different groove. And if you want it, a surprise, here's a little advice, baby. Don't go looking for it, everyone will know you're boring, up for sure, it's snoring when